Hi, hello, and let's move on to Unit 4, slide number 3. So what we have here, we have conjugação pronominal reflexa. So once again, reflexive verbs. And we will discuss this topic here, colocação do pronome antes do verbo. So this is about the position of the pronoun. Usually when you're conjugating reflexive verbs, the pronoun comes after the verb. An example, I would say to you, eu chamo-me. And me, it's the pronoun, right? Like, I call myself. Or I could say, tu chamas-te. Like, you call yourself. So the pronoun usually comes after the verb in Portuguese, in European Portuguese. And this is very different from Spanish or from French, right? In Spanish or French, just um, to talk about two examples, the pronoun comes before. So in Spanish, they say me llamo. So me llamo. So the pronoun comes before, and then llamo, it's the verb. Or in French, they say je m'appelle. So once again, the pronoun comes first, and then they have the verb. But in Portuguese, it's the other way around. The pronoun comes usually after the verb. So eu lavo-me, like I wash me or I wash myself. Tu chamas-te. So you call yourself. So the pronoun usually comes after the verb. But it's not always like that, okay? And we will discuss this topic now. So here we have an example, a table, where you can see that the pronoun, in this case, you will find it before verb. An example, como te chamas? So this pronoun, instead of being here after the verb, instead of como chamas-te, no, the pronoun comes and you will find it before, okay? The pronoun comes first. Another example, nunca me deito cedo. So instead of nunca deito-me, no, in this case we have me and then we have the verb. Or here, também nos levantamos cedo. So instead of levantamo-nos, no, we have the pronoun and then we have the verb. And it's the same logic here. Instead of senta-se, we have se senta. And this topic here, it's one of the reasons why you cannot be perfect with reflexive verbs on level A1, okay? There are several reasons why you can't be perfect. And this is one of the reasons. It's because uh, for for a long time, you will be asking yourself, do I have to put the pronoun after the verb or before the verb? After the verb or before the verb? I'm gonna tell you that even if you're putting the pronoun, if you have the pronoun in the wrong position, even if you have the pronoun before verb instead of after, or if you put the pronoun or if you have the pronoun after the verb instead of before, we will always understand you, and that's the good thing. An example, people from Brazil, you know that we speak the same language, right? But they use this pronoun in a completely different way. Usually they put the pronoun before verb, so they would say me chamo Maria. So again, in Brazil they would say me chamo, but in European Portuguese we say chamo-me. So the pronoun comes after the verb usually in European Portuguese. In Brazilian Portuguese, I don't know the rules for Brazilian Portuguese, let me tell you, okay? But obviously I can recognize, I can understand what do they say, so I can tell you right away that usually they put the pronoun before verb. I was going to say that the fact that they put the pronoun before the verb, that is not a problem for us to understand them, okay? It sounds funny, but we can understand them perfectly, right? Now, let's check these examples. Como te chamas? So the pronoun comes before because in this case we have the word como. So I'm going to tell you that in Portuguese, in European Portuguese, we have a few words. I just call these words magic words. And every time we have one of these magic words, you have to flip the position of the pronoun, okay? So, como, it's one of those magic words because como, it's a question word. And I'm going to tell you right away that it's not the fact that you have a question here. It's because I can ask you a question without using a question word, and in that case, I don't have to switch the position of the pronoun. So I could ask you, tu chamas-te Pedro? Again, tu chamas-te Pedro? It's still a question, right? But I don't have any magic word here, so the pronoun comes after the verb as we usually do. However, every time you have question words like como, qual, que, quem, quando, uh, and all the other question words. So if you have one question word and then if you have one reflexive verb, you have to flip and we have the pronoun before verb. Okay, that's why in this case we have to before the verb. It's because como it's a magic word. Okay. The problem with this is that we have a long, very long list of magic words. Do you have to memorize all these magic words on level A1? No. The answer is no. Don't even try, okay? Because we teach some of these magic words, we will teach them on level A1, and you're going to learn these words on level A1. But some of these magic words, you're going to learn them on level A2. And there are other magic words that you will learn on level B1. So now you can understand that on level A1, you cannot be perfect with this. So in my opinion, you have to understand what's a reflexive verb. You have to get the big picture. You have to understand that usually the pronoun comes after, and sometimes you have the pronoun before. But you cannot be perfect with reflexive verbs on level A1. So don't be too worried about reflexive verbs at the moment, okay? Another example. Nunca. Nunca me deito cedo. Nunca, it's another magic word. Nunca, hopefully, you know that it means never. So this is, I never lay down myself early. So I never go to bed early. So nunca means never. We use it all the time. And because we use it all the time, I think it's one of those magic words that you have to memorize, okay? So please make sure that you remember that nunca, it's a magic word and it flips the position of the pronoun. Then we have também, também means also, também nos levantamos cedo. Também means also, it's a magic word, but I don't think that is essential for level A1. If you can remember that também, it's a magic word, great. If you can't, I'm okay with that. So this, again, this means also get up ourselves early, so we also get up early. And then ninguém, ninguém means no one. It's also a magic word. I don't think is essential on level A1. Again, if you can memorize that ninguém it's a magic word, great. But if you can't, don't worry. So ninguém se senta aqui. No one sits here. That's a translation. Aqui means here. So in my opinion, and this is my approach, on level A1, you have to memorize that all question words are magic words, okay? So if you have a question word and then a reflexive verb, you flip the position of the pronoun. Then you also have to remember that nunca, that means never, it's a magic word. And because we use it all the time, you have to remember that this is a magic word. And then I'm going to add one word more. It's the word, one word more as a magic word. It's the word não. Não, it means, that's the word that you use for the negative, right? So I could say to you, eu chamo-me Frederico. Or I could say, eu não me chamo Frederico. So não, it's how we do the negative, right? How we make the negative because we put não before the verb, and it's always like this. So every time we have the negative, we have a sentence with the negative, with the word não, we flip the position of the pronoun. Another example. Eu lavo-me todos os dias. I'm saying I wash myself every day. Again, eu lavo-me todos os dias. But if I'm using não, if I want a negative for this sentence, I would say eu não me lavo todos os dias. So the fact that we have não, it flips. So we have eu não me lavo todos os dias, okay? So in my opinion, and I'm here to share this with you, don't forget that question words, quem, quando, que, qual, onde, and so on, are magic words. They flip the position of the pronoun. Don't forget that nunca, it's also a magic word. It means never. We use it all the time, so you have to know it. And don't forget that word não, it's the adverb that we use for the negative. It's also a magic word. We use it all the time. So it flips the position of the pronoun, okay? All the other words, all the other magic words, and we have so many, all the other magic words, just it's a process. It takes time. You have to start speaking, and then you have to move on to level A2, and then you will learn more magic words. So just go with the flow with that, okay? It's my opinion, and I'm here to share my opinion with you, as you can imagine. All right, now you have this activity here. I'm going to ask you to complete this activity. So we have two gaps, and the first thing that you have to do is you have to pick the right pronoun. So which pronoun you're going to use here? Is it me, or se, or tu, or nous? And then you have to decide if you're going to use that pronoun here or here, here or here, here or here. So you just have to fill out one of these two gaps, okay? So please stop the video, complete this, and I'll show you the answers in a second. Okay, I'm going to show you the solutions. So it's como se chama a professora, como it's a magic word. So we have the pronoun before verb. Eles levantam-se cedo. See that if you have the pronoun after the verb, you have this dash. But if the pronoun comes before the verb, there's no dash, okay? So they get themselves up early. Tu chamas-te Pedro. This is a question, but we don't have a question word. So it's not the fact that we have a question that flips the position of the pronoun. It's the fact that you have a question word that is a magic word, okay? So this is a question, no magic word. So we follow the first guideline that says that usually pronouns come after the verbs. So tu chamas-te Pedro, and then eu chamo-me Fernando. So I call myself Fernando. So hopefully this was easy for you. And now I have two activities more. And this time you just have to conjugate the verbs, okay? So here you have the verbs here in brackets. So make sure that you conjugate them correctly. Here we have this example. Você chama-se Pedro. You call yourself Pedro. And then you have to follow this. So we have sim, eu chamo-me Pedro. Yes, I call myself Pedro. And here you have to follow the same logic. Você deita cedo? You lay down yourself early? And the answer must be yes, I lay down myself early. Vocês levantam-se tarde? It's like you guys, right? You guys get up late? And the answer must be yes, we get up late, and so on. And then hopefully you understand, you already know what you have to do here. So please stop the video, complete this activity. I'll show you the answers in a second. Okay, let's check. First one. A professora chama-se Laura. Eu levanto-me tarde. Vocês lavam-se todos os dias. Nós deitamo-nos tarde, so don't forget that we drop this S, okay? Every time we conjugate a reflexive verb for nós, we drop the S. Sim, eu deito-me cedo. So yes, I lay down myself early. And then, sim, nós deitamo-nos. So we lay down ourselves. And then, sim, eu lavo-me. So yes, I wash myself. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you now a bit more comfortable with reflexive verbs. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you shortly.